morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whenever you are. You made a great decision to join the Home Court Design podcast today. So, we're coming in a little late here with this edition of the podcast. It's been a busy couple of weeks, so we ended up filming this podcast a little late, but got a lot to jump into today on today's episode, and I'll give you guys an update on Home Court Design and where we're at the end of the episode. So today we're going to be talking. We're going to get you guys a Lakers update on some of the things that have been going on with the Lakers and my key takeaways. Going to talk about Liangelo Ball, the brother Alonzo Ball, and his whole situation in China that's going on right now, and kind of what that means to the Big Baller brand, and what, if anything, could have been done to prevent this, or is it just a stupid mistake by a kid? We'll dive into all that. And then we'll talk about Kristaps Porzingis on the New York Knicks, and his play thus far has been amazing, and we'll dive into that, as well as Tom's hot take. So with all that, we're going to go ahead and jump into our first topic. So let's jump in. Go ahead and give you guys a Lakers update. Lonzo Ball has been playing, I guess we could say, kind of subpar as of late by the standards we were going to hold him to. I've talked on previous podcasts that Lonzo is who we thought he was. Lonzo is the guy who's not going to score 30 points a game, but he's going to get you 10, 12 assists a game, as well as, possibly a couple of rebounds. He's a pretty well-rounded, multifaceted player, and we hope that he can develop into the type of guy that can score and get us buckets when we need them in critical moments. But Lonzo, he's got great length. He's an athletic guard. He's not an unathletic point guard. He's 6'5", 6'6", and can jump when he needs to. He's not a freakish athlete. He's not like a Russell Westbrook, but he will be able to get up when he needs to. So, he's got good size, and it gives us hope as Lakers fans that he's going to be able to develop into the type of player that we need him to be. But as far as his play thus far, he had a great game yesterday against the Milwaukee Bucks. He got a triple-double in that game. It was a losing effort, but he did score about 19 points. I think it was about 12 assists or 12 rebounds and 13 assists. So a good, well-rounded game for Lonzo. And those are the types of games we want to see him string together. He's obviously going to, and he shot a good percentage. He shot about 54% from the field. Hit 3 3-pointers. We want to see those types of games from Lonzo. We want to see him be able to put up 15 to 18 points a game, and then close to 10 rebounds and 10 assists per game. Because Lonzo can do that. He's got good size, and on any given night, he's bigger than the opposing point guard. If you think about it, if he's playing against, in this game, he played against Eric Bledsoe, which he's got about 6 inches on the guy. When he plays against John Wall and Steph Curry, he's got like 3-4 inches on those players. So Lonzo's got good size, and he should be able to body up and really defend those other bigger or shorter guards, being the bigger guard that he is. So it gives us hope. Lonzo's got all the tools. He just needs to put it together. It's his rookie season. Obviously, rookies struggle. They even on First Take they interviewed Jason Kidd and asked if it was a fair comparison to Jason Kidd, to compare Lonzo to him. And Jason Kidd said it's not fair at this point in time, which I kind of agree with. It's not fair to compare him to the Jason Kidd who's an all-star, but Lonzo Ball could easily be compared to the Jason Kidd that was a rookie. They average very similar numbers, and they're similar games. So people want Lonzo to set the league on fire right now, and the bottom line is I know us Lakers fans, we've been in a rebuild for a long period of time. I get it, and hopefully Lonzo with the young guys can lead us out of that. Free agency next year will be able to help out with that, but the bottom line is he is a rookie, and we need to give him time to develop. One thing I do like about Lonzo is even after the game yesterday, he put up some good numbers and they lost. Reporters had asked Lonzo, hey, what do you think about putting up a triple-double? And Lonzo said he didn't care about that. He just wants to win. That's the only thing he cares about. And you know what? That gives me great hope that Lonzo is going to be the guy who's going to lead us out of this rut that we've been in for the past 4 or 5 years since Kobe kind of went down with his Achilles injury and we haven't really gotten good talent. Lonzo only cares about winning, and hopefully that mentality is going to rub off on some of the other younger guys. And one other thing I like about Lonzo's game that I don't think a lot of people talk about is his focus. Lonzo is so focused on basketball. He doesn't get caught up in, obviously with LeVar Ball, his father, and all the antics he gets into, and then obviously with his brother Liangelo Ball, who's going through some things in China right now. And, whenever asked about it, he says, it's being taken care of. I'm focusing on the game. And he doesn't expand on that. And I think that's awesome. I think Lonzo's got great focus. He knows how to play the media. And I know those are the qualities that are going to make him a great leader for the Lakers. So Lonzo Ball, be patient, Lakers fans. He's going to develop into a great player. He's not a bust. I don't care what Stephen A. Smith on First Take says. He's not a bust, and he's not. There's no concern for him to be a bust. He's got the tools. He's going to put it together. So let's talk about Kyle Kuzma. So really the steal of the draft, in my opinion, the 27th pick. Obviously people like to talk about Dennis Smith Jr. being the steal. He was still a lottery pick at that point. 26 teams passed on Kyle Kuzma before the Lakers took him, and he's third leading rookie in scoring. At about 15, 16 points per game. Had another great game yesterday, about 21 points and 11 rebounds. So Kuzma's playing great basketball, and obviously he played 3 years at Utah, so he's got an more NBA ready, polished body, and able to compete with these bigger guys. But I really think Kuzma, his ceiling is going to be all-star. Clearly, this guy can be an all-star if he keeps it and puts it together and is efficient. He's got great size. He's 6'9". He can rebound, and he can shoot. And that's the biggest asset I think about Kyle Kuzma. The guy can shoot threes. And this is a shooter's league. I've said it from the beginning. This is a shooter's league, and you need to be able to shoot the basketball if you're going to be successful on the offensive end, and Kyle Kuzma can do that. So I think my prediction for Kyle Kuzma in the next 2 years, Kyle Kuzma's going to be averaging 25 points per game. That's just my opinion. I think the guy's got all the tools necessary to do it. He's great off the dribbles, got great footwork, and maybe this is a hot take and I can save it and expand on it for later, but I honestly see at the moment, Kyle Kuzma's got a better game than Brandon Ingram. That's just the bottom line. Kyle Kuzma's got more confidence, he can shoot the ball better, and he's quicker off the dribble. And I love Brandon Ingram, and I'm really pulling for the guy. But at this point in time, if it came down between Kyle Kuzma and Brandon Ingram, I'm taking Kuzma, because Kuzma is, again, showing more confidence on the offensive end and just as a player in general. I think his ceiling at the moment is a little bit higher than Brandon Ingram. So we'll see how the year plays out, and I'm hoping that both those guys can be all-stars. But Kuzma's got a great ceiling. Again, 25 points per game in the next 2 years is my prediction for Kyle Kuzma. Another topic about the Lakers is Julius Randle. So he's averaging about 18 minutes per game. So what do we do with Julius Randle? He's actually been playing better coming off of the bench. At first, it sounds like he didn't like it. He had a riff with Luke Walton about it. But he's playing better off the bench. This is a contract year for Julius, and we wanted Julius to play well going into the season. So I think, what do we do with him? In my opinion, Lakers are very deep at the power forward spot. So I think if we have to let go of Julius, we're not going to hurt. We have not Brandon Ingram. We have Kyle Kuzma, and we have Larry Nance Jr., who I personally like better than Randle at the defensive end with Larry Nance Jr. Obviously, he's out with the injury, so it's good to have Randle as a backup insurance policy. But if we had to get rid of Randle for an asset like a first-round pick, I would pull the trigger on that immediately. So I don't know what the Lakers are planning to do with Julius. Obviously, again, it's good to have him as an insurance policy, but I think between Larry Nance Jr. and Kyle Kuzma, we have that power forward spot showing up. And the problem with Julius, and I've said it from the beginning, and I know Larry Nance can't do this as well either, but again, this is a shooter's league, and Julius has not shown the ability to pull out and shoot the ball. Neither is Larry Nance Jr., but I think the difference is Larry Nance is better on the defensive end, and he's a better athlete. So that's why I would honestly take Larry Nance over Randle. Even though Randle can make some things happen, he's quick, he's good in transition. But if I had to get rid of one of those three guys, Kuzma, Randle, or Larry Nance, I'm getting rid of Randle, and I'd get rid of him for an asset. So I look for the Lakers to make a move with him, shop him around, see if they could even unload the Dang contract by attaching Julius to it in some kind of trade or getting an asset back. So that's my Lakers update. I want to jump in here to our next topic, which is Liangelo Ball, the brother of Lonzo Ball. So if for those of you who haven't heard, Liangelo, along with two other UCLA basketball players, were arrested in China for shoplifting at a Shoppers Mart at a Louis Vuitton store out there. And unfortunately, that kind of crime out here in the U.S. is looked at as a misdemeanor. It's a petty crime. And you wouldn't even consider jail time for a crime like that. But unfortunately, in Chinese law, that kind of crime carries a maximum sentence anywhere between 3 to 10 years in prison. So this is a big deal for Liangelo Ball and for the Big Baller brand. It's not a good look. But honestly, my opinion on the whole thing, and really doesn't matter because really this is China. This isn't the U.S. This is China, and their law governs whatever happens in their country. For me, this is just kids being kids. This is stupid kids making a stupid mistake. You have to look at past history. Have they done this before? Which, to my knowledge, they haven't. But we've all been in that situation where we've done stupid things, right? I mean, I've been there, and I'm sure people listening to this podcast have been there, where we've done stupid things, and you just get let off with a warning, or maybe maybe you get community service depending on the severity of the crime. I remember back when I was younger in high school, me and a couple of buddies, we were in the back of a truck, and we were throwing water balloons at people. We were driving through different neighborhoods and throwing water balloons at just random people, and we ended up actually getting chased by an off-duty police officer. And all the meanwhile, me and my buddy were in the back of the truck, and we're going like 100 miles an hour down the street. It was a real dangerous situation. Fortunately, the police never got involved, but the bottom line is we do stupid things when we're kids, and these guys are like 18, 19 years old, so we can't hold it against them for that. Also, a lot of people are coming out and calling out LeVar Ball and saying, "Oh, LeVar Ball, he's repping his Big Baller brand and not supporting his kid." For all those people who think that about LeVar Ball, just know that UCLA, they finished their all their games in China and have headed back to the U.S., obviously without the three players that they're still pending further charges in China right now, one being Liangelo Ball. But for all those guys who are hating on LeVar Ball, he is staying back in China to support his son. So everybody who wants to make a mountain out of a molehill, like, oh, LeVar Ball's at the UCLA game and he's not with his son in the hotel. You know what? Come on, guys. That's not fair for LeVar Ball. He knows his son. I'm sure he's been there every step of the way. His son is confined in the hotel. We get that. But you know what? Nobody should be able to tell LeVar Ball how to parent his kids. His kids have turned out great thus far. And this, again, is not a big deal. Even LeVar Ball has come out and said it's not a big deal. Look, they made a stupid mistake. And hopefully cooler heads will prevail and they just get let off with a warning, get banned from the country, whatever, but no jail time. We don't want to see jail time for something as petty as this. So that's my take on Liangelo Ball. Third topic here, Kristaps Porzingis on the New York Knicks. Now, Kristaps has been playing great this season, and he's, I think, had 4 or 5 or 6 30-point games already. So he's been balling with Carmelo leaving. Opens the gate for him to be the face of the Knicks franchise. And I honestly have to say, this guy, I have said from the beginning he's going to be the next Dirk, but I think he's going to be better than Dirk Nowitzki. And here's the reason. Dirk Nowitzki, as great of a shooter and offensive threat as he was never the athlete that Kristaps Porzingis is. Kristaps is a great defensive player, not only an offensive player, but a defensive player. And he can make things happen in transition. Well, he can handle the ball great for a 7'3", 7'3" center. So it's I'll call him the next Dirk plus, because Kristaps' ceiling, to me, he's going to be a generational player. We're not going to see a guy like Kristaps Porzingis, just like we don't see a guy like LeBron every year or every 10 years. This is a once-in-a-generation type of talent, and I think within the next year or two, he's going to be in the top 5 best players in the league. I mean, there's no question. This guy is so transformational, and he's already got the Knicks in the playoff run. Let's take a look here at the standings. But the New York Knicks currently, believe it or not, the New York Knicks are 6th in the Eastern Conference race right now at 7-5. Who the hell would have thought the Knicks would have been there? And it all has to do with Kristaps and his play thus far. Again, I've said it before, he's athletic, he can shoot, he can defend, and this guy really has all the tools to be a superstar in the league. So keep an eye on Kristaps Porzingis. I'm just pissed off the Lakers passed on him and drafted Liangelo Ball, which I can't blame them for that because a lot of these European players come out with the hope of being this kind of transformational player, like a Pau Gasol or a Dirk Nowitzki or even a Tony Parker. We look for those kinds of players from Europe, but a lot of times they don't pan out that way. So I can't fault the Lakers for passing on Porzingis. Nobody could. I personally don't think Phil Jackson knew what he was getting when he drafted Porzingis. I think he kind of just fell into his lap. So, I'm sure if Jahlil Okafor didn't get drafted at 3, the Knicks damn sure would have taken Jahlil before Porzingis because that's just the type of guy Phil Jackson was as a GM. So, or president of basketball operations. So, again, keep an eye out on Porzingis and the Knicks. 6th in the East. They could be in the playoffs this year, which a lot of people probably wouldn't have thought they would at the beginning of the season. So I have one more segment to jump into here, which is Tom's Hot Takes. So, fresh out the oven, we're gonna deliver you guys a nice hot take from the oven of my brain. So, here's what I have to say. And I know a lot of people are going to disagree with this, but it's really the truth. The Houston Rockets currently are first in the Western Conference. They are first in the Western Conference with a record of 10-3. I contend that the Rockets are a better team without Chris Paul. They are a better team without Chris Paul. The reason for that is as great a player as Chris Paul is, and he is great, and he it's better to have him on the floor than not, but in the right capacity. The thing is that Houston functions as a better team when Harden is playing at his peak. And Harden plays at his peak when he's got the ball in his hands. With Chris Paul playing on the floor, he's a ball-dominant point guard. And even if you move him off ball and have Harden run the team at the point guard position, the problem is that Chris Paul is not a great three-point shooter. So I think what the problem is you have to stagnate their minutes. And I just think trading for Chris Paul and getting rid of Patrick Beverley and some of the other pieces they gave up weakened their depth a little bit, and they would have been better off without trading for Chris Paul, in my opinion, because James Harden plays better with the ball in his hand, just like Chris Paul does. It's a redundant skill set, and I think, frankly, I know they won't do it, but they really should explore offers for Chris Paul. He's in the last year of his contract. And they really should look and see what they can get and try to shore up their depth, or maybe even get another all-star that can play opposite James Harden, because I just don't think they fit together. Their games don't fit together. They're too similar. So that's my hot take. Rockets are better without Chris Paul. Just a quick update on home court design. We're finishing up the mechanical design, hopefully here in the next week. There's a few things I need to do as far as just the design of the overall mechanism. But once I'm finished with that, I'm going to jump into the controls. So that I'll be looking at different control boards like Arduinos and Raspberry Pi, as well as how I'm going to and the different sensors that I'm going to use on the system to be able to monitor various inputs. So it's going to be a fun next couple of weeks. Hoping to start ordering parts at the beginning of the new year, but it's definitely been a challenge. But still working on that, and I'll share more details next time. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Like us and share us. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And comment below if you've got any questions or comments that you want to share with me. And I'll talk to you guys next time. All right, signing out.